I'm pretty pumped because today we have the first booking coming in for JR's 2016 Super Outback. We actually picked this up the other day for him. It was listed online at $21,500. We ended up getting the price down by over $2,000 for him. So he ended up buying it for $19,400. which was a pretty freaking good deal. We're gonna go ahead and drive this thing through a car wash right now, make sure that's looking pretty for the first guest coming in. And then I have a few accessories that I need to actually install in the car before they can pick it up. We have a lockbox, first of all, that's gonna be put on the door handle so that I don't have to be there to actually check them in for their trip. They can do that remotely. And then we also have a GPS that I'm gonna be installing in the car. And that way we're able to keep track of where the car goes, how many miles they drive during a day, and then just any red flags that come up. Also, a great thing with the lockbox is that we can record maintenance intervals. And so anytime a certain amount of miles are driven or a certain mileage mark has been hit, we can go ahead and just perform that service. We get a notification in the app that that service needs to be handled. And then last thing that I'll be putting in this car is a tire inflator. And the great thing about that is a lot of times during a guest trip, a tire pressure light will come on, and that's just a super common thing. So being able to offer them a free way to fill up the tire with air is gonna take a lot off our plate and make the customers a lot more happy. So I go ahead and include a tire inflator in every single car that I list on the Turo platform now. Just makes life a lot easier. So I'll tell you about our experience with trying to put a rooftop tint onto this car. JR was pretty pumped about having a tint on it because he was gonna be generating a little bit of extra income off of that. So he goes and purchases a tint off of Facebook. So it was like a super old model and kind of broken. So he ended up laying in it. First time he lays in it, he hears a big crunch and the bottom board fall out of the rooftop tent. So there's no support when you're laying it in anymore. So he brings it over to my place and we decide, all right, let's try to fix this thing ourselves. It's been about 8 hours trying to do that. After 8 hours, we're like, okay, maybe this thing's gonna work. And then close it, and it closes completely like sideways. So clearly wasn't fixed at all after 8 hours of work, which kind of sucked. So we ended up dropping it off at a tint specialist, which is what we should have done from the start. He looks over the whole thing. He got back to me actually just yesterday and said,
this is going to cost you a lot more money to keep fixing up if you want it to be perfect.
And so at that point, I got in touch with JR and he was saying, hey dude, I'll just go ahead and I'll sell the thing. Let's just get the car rented. So he told me that yesterday. And then today we've got our first booking coming in, which is great because now we can start making money on the car. So the tint process was kind of miserable. And from now on, I'll just be paying other people to deal with that shit while I deal with managing the cars. I think that's more my skill set. I'm not somebody that can fix up tints. I'm at the gas station near the airport, so this is where I will be getting a car wash. So they got a car wash that actually a lot of Turo hosts use. I don't love using it because it costs me a little bit extra money since I already have a car wash membership. But when I'm in a pickle like today and I have to get to the airport for its pickup, I go ahead and I just use this thing and I just bite the bullet, pay I think it's like $8, but it does the trick. All right, I'll just pick the cheapest one.
Thank you.
All right, and I have to keep receipts nowadays, track business expenses. I'm always nervous that I'm gonna leave a window down and just get a bunch of fucking water in the car. So I'm always just like pulling up on the window buttons. All right, all cleaned up. Time to head to the airport, but ended up on the car. One of the little washy things. Hopefully it didn't do anything. Let's see. All right. Otherwise, the car looks pretty damn clean. Look at that, all shiny. Let's pop this out. All right, off to the airport. We're at the parking lot, so we've got a few things we're installing. First of all, this is a GPS. That's gonna be installed in the car. I'll show you the whole process. And then we have the tire inflator. And a lockbox. All right, let's start by installing the GPS. So once the GPS is installed, I have to take the car on a 10-minute ride until the thing activates. So we'll just drive around aimlessly for a little bit, and hopefully the thing will turn on. The GPS is now working, so step one is done. Now I'm gonna just unpack the tire inflator, throw it in the back in a good spot, and I will put the lockbox on the car and we'll be good to go. Now we'll be putting the tire inflator in the back of the car. So we got this unpacked. I think a good spot for it is going to be right in here. Now we'll be installing the lockbox on the driver door handle. So it actually comes with this cable. That's the cable that's gonna attach it to the door handle. And basically, if you see up here, it has these two holes, and so that's how it'll attach. All right, so lockbox is installed, GPS is installed, and the tire inflator is in the back. So this thing is good to go. Now I just have to take photos of the car, and it's ready for the pickup. All right, so the last thing involved in getting this thing completely ready to go on Turo is disabling the keyless entry on the car, because the key is gonna be sitting in a lockbox right outside on the door, and that's gonna automatically wanna unlock the door. And we don't want that, obviously, for security reasons. And so what I'm gonna do is completely disable it. We have to go through a few steps to do so. And so I will show you how it works. This is a 2016 Subaru Outback that I'm doing it on, and I will show you the sequence. There's just a series of button clicks and door openings that we'll do. All right, so what I'm gonna do is first unlock, then open, unlock twice, close, open, close, open, again, unlock twice, close, open, close. Now you have heard that long beeping sound, and that means that the keyless entry is disabled. And so now you'll see that with the key in the lockbox, the door isn't gonna open because of the keyless entry. All right, and the Subaru is officially ready for pickup, and I'll be texting the guest and uploading all the pictures into the trip photos. Now the trick is getting home when I just drove here, and so I actually just jump on the shuttle and then grab the train home. So the cool thing about having a pretty passive investment with Turo is that I just dropped that thing off one time, and I could potentially not see it for like 2 months, and that car is just generating me revenue as we go. So pretty dope. Train home, I can go ahead and jump into car sync on my laptop. Make sure that the GPS is actually connected to the Turo profile. It shows that it found a new match, and all I have to do is click save. And then that way I'll be able to automatically send out the GPS location to the guest in my messages.